PS5 in 2026 really isn't that great of a console anymore, whether it's the fact that Sony is pulling all physical games in 2028, so it's like, well, there's really no point on collecting games on your PS5. I bought the PS5 Digital Slim Edition last year on Black Friday for only $300. At the time, thought it was a good deal. You know, I've been out of console gaming for a while. I've only been playing on this PC, you know. So it's like, you know what, I want to try out Spider-Man, I want to play all those games, and I found out, like, after a few months, I only have Battlefield 6 on there, only played 80 hours, and mostly just played Helldivers 2, which is honestly the only reason I have the PS5 was because Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 doesn't run well on computers, too much on hardware that doesn't have a lot of VRAM, so I was like, you know what, I might as well get smooth 60 FPS on console. But then Helldivers 2 doesn't really have great optimization either on console anymore as well, so it's like, well, that kind of didn't seem like a great buy. Like, yeah, I have my use for it, but it's like I have no collection of games, I have no collection of discs or anything like that, so it just feels like I wasted my time with this console. There's just a lot of quality of life features that have been taken away even in the last few months, and this is my context. I've been an Xbox guy my whole life. I'm used to backwards compatibility. I was used to being able to play my Xbox One library on a new console, and on PlayStation, obviously I don't have my PS4 library because I didn't own a PS4 at the time. I was an Xbox One guy. The PS4 was a much better console, but once I got to the 1S era of Xbox One, I was like, okay, we're on the right direction. And then Series X came out, Infinite. It's like, oh no, Xbox isn't doing hot either, but Xbox is, even from my personal experience, a lot more consumer friendly. Like, Sony has random pricing on their store. For example, it's literally came out that if you buy a lot of games on the Sony store, you're more likely to get discounts. Well, less likely to get discounts. I'll put the article on screen. You're less likely to get discounts if you purchase more games. If you purchase less games, Sony's going to know that, and they're going to recommend you games for lower prices than one of your friends or buddies in the same area or region. And it's kind of just like, that's disingenuous. They're making their own monopoly. Games are extremely overpriced digitally on PlayStation. Like, I can't play any of, like, I want to go play Call of Duty Ghosts. I got paid $60 to play Call of Duty Ghosts. That game came out in 2013, man. Like, at least on Xbox, I had to just go buy the disc, plop it in, and play it, you know? And in all honesty, right now, Xbox Series S and X are surprisingly more consumer friendly, which I switched to PlayStation because of the price hikes on Xbox, but it seems good things don't always last. It seems like this happens every console generation since I was a kid. You have one company that's absolutely just cooking the other one for years, then then that company gets too prideful, they forget about their fans, and then they screw themselves over, and it gives the chance for the other console makers to kind of catch up. And this is good news for Xbox, not good news for PlayStation. The glaze for the PS5 was crazy the last few years. All my buddies were like, dude, it's just as good. Everything's going cross-platform anyways. You can play your Xbox games on there anyways. Well, those Xbox games still come 6 months later. You know, like, we still can't play Forza Horizon 6 on the PS5, but that's a good thing. Like, I think console exclusives are a good thing, you know, but the PS5 exclusives aren't, in my opinion, super stellar. In my personal opinion, the Spider-Man games were, like, the biggest draw for me on the PS5, and it was mainly Miles Morales and Spider-Man Remastered, but even then, you can play those games on a PS4. When I was younger, I just was able to play the games I missed out on with the PS4 generation. Then after that point, after I finished God of War, once I finished Spider-Man, I was like, well, let's try The Last of Us, right? And then there was like 3 versions of the original Last of Us on the PS5. You have The Last of Us Part 1, you have The Last of Us Original, and then you have like the remake Last of Us, and then you have like 2 versions of The Last of Us Part 2, I think, and it was just like, oh god, this looks worse than Xbox stores sometimes, because at least like with Xbox and their IPs, they're gonna do some weird stuff or some crazy games, and Sony just wants to make big budget movie games, and I see the draw, I see the reason why people love them, but not growing up with games like God of War, Spider-Man, and all that stuff, and playing them as an adult, they're good games, but the replay value is taken away slightly just from a lot of quick time events or just watching hours on cutscenes. The cutscenes are amazing too. The stories are amazing too. It's just, they're not fun games to play in my opinion. I want to have more control over my characters, and I don't know, the PS5 just felt like a waste of time for me as a console. I'm probably just going to be fully switching the PC. Main reason I have it is, well, I spent $300 on it. Might as well use it until it breaks. But PS Plus is just atrocious. It's not as good as, like, people glaze PS5 a lot and clown on Xbox, but Game Pass is far superior than PS Plus, regardless if Game Pass actually makes Xbox profit or anything. I really don't think it does anymore. But still, you can kind of see the difference in the direction of these two companies just from either playing them the last few years. Yeah, Phil Spencer was not really a smart businessman, but he was really good at making sure games were everywhere all at once. And I'm not sure if those effects were really good for Xbox, but you even see Sony's just like, oh shit, we don't want the same thing that happened to us with Xbox. Let's pull our games from PC. But they just did it, in my opinion, in a more disingenuous way. Because, not gonna lie, I got into Spider-Man originally, the remaster, on Steam, and then got a PS5 because I wanted the game to run well, you know? Well, this is Gus2 signing off. Make sure to like, subscribe. We're just going to be talking about random daily topics. Make sure to comment down below any book reviews, anything you want me to talk about in the world, or any Halo topics as well. I'm avoiding Halo for a minute because I just want to be a little more peaceful and calm about my topics at the moment. Love y'all. God loves you. Peace out.